And from my art YouTube tutorial channel. Hope you're well. This is going to go out on Easter Monday evening actually. Tonight I'm going to do something completely different actually. I'm going to show you a little bit of graffiti lettering and I'm going to create a bit of graffiti art across this page eventually. So we're going to start off with I was thinking of some kind of graffiti phrases. So they use old school, as in hip hop, quite a lot. Old school. So I thought I might change it to arts, Art Skool, Art School or Art Skool. So we're going to spell the school S-K-O-O-L, and just put the word art in front of that. Okay, so. I've got all sorts of, if you type into Pinterest or Google Images, something like that, graffiti alphabet or graffiti word or letter alphabets, it comes up with all sorts of different styles, so you can just have a go at finding your own style really. So I'm going to do a bit more of a bubbly, kind of what's called a bubble graffiti effect. So colours I'm going to use tonight, which you can choose any colours you like really, but some colours that complement each other quite nicely, and you see it a lot across graffiti street art around the world. It's purples. I'm going to go into kind of a lilac-y purple, so I've got quite a strong deeper purple with a bit of glitter in that one. Just kind of a sky blue and then more of a turquoise colour going into your classic kind of pea green colour, and then I'm just using a H or a HB pencil is fine. I'm going to go over the pencil line anyway in the Stabilo fine line 0.88 fine liner, which is black. Okay, but as I say, you can choose any colours you like, but you need basically 5 different colours. A pen of some description, obviously a pencil to start, so that's what we're going to go with. Okay, so we're going to move those pencils and pencil crayons out of the way, and what we're going to do is I'm going to write it across here, but I'm going to miss the bottom section a little bit of the lettering behind Baymax here. Okay, so I'm going to write art here and then school just underneath here, across in this direction. Okay. So if you want to make sure that you're doing the right direction for kind of lettering, I'd perhaps just do a fine line there that you can rub out later, and perhaps another one here where you want the bottom of the lettering to come through, and you want to kind of parallel lines if you can. Okay, but obviously you want to see most of the letter, otherwise it won't look like the letter, particularly the L and the K, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to start here. Hopefully you can see this. Alright, we're going to do it quite bubbly. Now if I'm going to write art, obviously art's only 3 letters, and then the spelling of school, as in old school, is S-K-O-O-L, so that's 5 letters. So we'll do the 3 letters here and then a little bit wider for the 5. So just to centre that, I'm going to draw the A about here. So the first thing we're going to do is a curve like this. Okay, so if you could do that curve, then this just curves downwards slightly and then back out. I want to stop it about there. Okay, now this goes straight back up again to here. Okay, now we're going to just curve it down a little bit, and then we've got a big curve here, which is the curve of the A. Now what you want to do is to try and carry on down here like this, then bring this out a little bit, back in there. Okay, so it just makes a little bubble. Now the inside of the A is going to be black. Okay, so we're going to just do this kind of effect. We'll have a line going up there. There we go. So there's the A, nice and quick. Now you've got a decision to make now. Most graffiti artists, will, if they're spray painting, they'll tend to put the letters slightly behind the last one or in front of the last one. So I'm going to go behind with the R, okay? So we're going to lose the back of the R basically. So we're going to do the R again, curve it round. I'm going to bring it to there. Now, I'm going to take this right round here, like this, and it's going to go up like that, okay? Like that. Okay, now to make it bubbly, you just want it to disappear behind the A as a curve, and that's it, that's all you're doing, okay? Now, in terms of where we're at with the, looks like a letter D actually in here, okay? So there we are, there's the A and the R, okay? And then the T, a little bit weirder the T is, okay, so we're going to start with a bubble, like this, and it's going to go up, and it's going to, we're going to bring that down, that line slightly, and then behind that, we're going to have another curve here, it's going to go round like this, to there, okay? Now, the stem of the T, we're going to wiggle it just a little bit. If you hear my 1990s reference to music there you go. So we're going to bring that in, just tucked in behind there, okay? So there's your art, all right? Now what I'd do now is I'd go over that with a fine liner now, okay? So just what you've just got to do is just make sure you go around, make sure these are nice and bubbly. When you get to that middle of the T there, you want that bubble to come down into that letter, okay? And then that's hidden behind the R. All right, so there we are with the R, around the back of the R. There we go. So we'll bring that R through, okay? Bring that R through, bring it down and round. You want to make it nice and bubble. This is kind of what's called bubble graffiti. Okay, there's all sorts of styles of graffiti art. Now we're not going to achieve the classic graffiti style because we haven't got spray paints. We're doing this in pencil crayon. So there is a few tricks and things like that I'll show you later on in different videos. Alright, that we can look at. So we'll colour that in black. There we are. We'll go to that D there that makes the hole in the R. And then we've got the curve round. And make sure that's really bubbly for the R there, art, okay? So that's what we're doing, alright? Now if you want to make this kind of cool looking, what you could do is you could go around this with the bubble and follow the shape of the lettering. Okay, I'm going to leave that one there without any underneath it. Okay. A little bit of a black section in there. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to carry it on down there. Okay, and then in there as well. I think that looks quite cool. Okay, so you're just going to go in with your fine liner there. Alright, top of the letters you can go a little bit thicker, but not much thicker. Okay. And you'll just leave one side, almost like you'd be shading in, and you'd have a shadow on one side and then no shadow on the other. I'd possibly leave it like that, although some graffiti artists do. Might just bring this one down, do both sides. Okay, and you could, I mean, you make a decision here when you're doing this yourself, but you could colour all that in black if you wanted to. Okay, I'm just going to go around this outside edge here. You're making it almost look 3D now. There you go. So that looks a bit more 3D, doesn't it? Which is good. We'll bring that over the top, black there. We'll have a little bit going on across the top of there, but we'll fade that in at the top so there's none right at the top there, and then we'll just have a little bit on the R. There you go. So that looks really much better, doesn't it? After that shadowing there. Okay, and that's all you need to do. We'll come on to colouring in a little while, but for now that's pretty good. All right, shading in a bit. So now the next one, keep the same style now, because obviously we're going to write the word school. You can write whatever words you want. You can put your own, in graffiti art before, on a piece of art I've done with a chimpanzee against a city wall. I put all sorts of graffiti on the wall. What I tended to do was to put my initials in the art, kind of hidden in the artwork. So I've got my surname's Bembo, which is a bit weird, I know, a bit unusual. So I put PB for Paul Bembo, and I put PTB, and I put all sorts of other art logos and things. And some of it I kind of used acrylic paint and went over the top of, so I might go across the top of Baymax as if somebody's come later on and done graffiti over the top of the art. So that's what I'm hoping to achieve by this. So we'll look at Art Skool, okay? So now the S, it's an unusual one. This is, what I'm gonna do is I'm separating the art from the word school, okay? So, and I want the L to be finishing behind Baymax here somewhere, okay? So I'm going to keep them separate. Some people would draw it in amongst this this word here, so it'd be starting up here a little bit, but this one I'm going to start further down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it here, and it's going to go up and around. A pencil here, because I'm not sure whether I'd want to do this in pen straight away. Okay, so here, and then the S is going to come all the way round at the bottom. Okay, this is curving this way, okay? Here, alright. Right under, okay. Curve going on in the S, there. Alright, so that's what the S looks like. So I'm gonna bring in the pen now, because I'm confident I've got that about right. Okay, but as I say, you could find, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of different styles of graffiti art. But the key thing is to keep the same style through all of the word that you're doing. That's really important that you do that. Okay, so I'm going to colour this all in black. I'm going to colour this in black with my fine liner. You could use a felt tip if you wanted to, or you could use a pencil crayon. So now I'm going to do the curve. Just change the pencil again. I'm going to do the curve of the K, because I'm going to spell it SK. Okay. Okay. I'm going to do it like this. Okay. Back of Baymax. Of going over the top of Baymax and colouring that in. It's up to you, but I'm going to go behind on this one because I don't want to spoil his head. You could do. So I'm going to go around the back there, and then this is going to kick down the back of there. So there's the K, alright. Around there, kind of down and around there. And yeah, okay, to bring the curve in. That's what we're doing. Now, the O, again, it's a bit of an unusual, like, O is kind of hidden behind the K normally. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hide it, hide the first one. There's two O's obviously. I'm going to hide the first one like this. See a little bit of it coming this way. To do here is make a small oval here, because then it looks more bubbly. Okay, and we'll go again by drawing this. Almost looks like eyes now. A kind of cartoon eyes. You could turn it into cartoon eyes, to be fair. A lot of people do that with graffiti art. Now, the L, what you want to do with the L is we're going to bring it, start from here. It's going to come back and go up slightly here. So we're going to go up and a big curve. It's going to come back quite quick, and then it's going to kick out like this. It's going to go around Baymax's hand there. Okay, now I'm going to leave that space there for a spray can. Okay, so I'm going to do a cartoon spray can here. Alright, so that's why I've left that space here. I'm going to draw a spray can here in another video. Just going to do the lettering for this one because I don't want it taking too long. So give you a bit of an update so far on the since we've been starting this with the coronavirus lockdown, the COVID-19 lockdown, global lockdown really, but the UK have been locked down nearly over 3 weeks now. What we're going to just give you an idea of how many subscribers we've got. We've got 154 currently subscribers. That's increased from 10 2 weeks ago. So we've had 143 increase in 2 weeks, which is fantastic. And watch hours, we're up to 112 watch hours currently total, which is really good. And we're just hitting just under short of 3,000 individual views of the videos. So if you can help by sharing, by getting your friends and family to sign up and subscribe, that'd be wonderful if you could do that for us. We'll keep the message going globally. It's gone over to Singapore now. We've been seen quite a lot in Australia and Canada and the USA. So, and obviously right across Europe as well. So it's really gaining some momentum now. So you can really help out by sharing the tutorials if you've enjoyed them. If you could do that, that'd be great. Okay, so again, we're going to do this feature here where we'll go around the lettering a little bit. Okay, and try and follow the shape that you've made. All right. You just follow the curves, if you like. Alright, so we'll do that little bit of black in there. Okay, we'll put the black in there. We've coloured in the ovals. Over the O to there. Do the same with that one. Again, it does look like eyes, so it's quite cool. With a K. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your Old Skool or Art Skool graffiti lettering. So there we go. Now, shading in, colouring in, what I just want to explain to you is you could leave it black and white, a lot of graffiti artists do, but I'm going to colour it in, and it's going to be in a kind of not a weird style, but we're going to go for green across the top. All right, so it's gonna have like lines. So if we can, if you can imagine, we're gonna have lines like this. Okay, and I'm gonna draw them on because we want the letter T to go like this. And we're going to use the lightest green that we've got, like this pea green, and we're going to shade the green in through that, and we're going to follow it through, and you don't want to see any white space here. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the same on the school below, so we're going to have almost like a rainbow shapes coming in. Down a bit lower to match that line there. It's just a tiny fleck across the top there and a tiny fleck across there. Okay, so this is what we're hoping to achieve now. After that, from there, you're going to go into like your sorry, not your lilac, your turquoise colour first, and then into the blue, and then into the lilac. So we're just going to now shade in this area here, this kind of turquoisey, bluish green. Okay, you can choose, as I say, you can choose any colours you like, but we're just going to bring this. You don't have to have them all equal at all. So I'm just going to now just change it up a little bit where you want to keep this bubbling effect going on. So if you make it quite fat shapes of the colours through here. Alright. You can leave a little bit of white on purpose if you wanted to. Alright. I'm just going to go down there into that L there. Okay, so you don't forget the top section as well, the art bit. You want it nice and smooth here, so you don't see much white space behind. Alright, on to about 22 minutes so far, so we'll try and do this nice and quick now so that we can show you the finished piece. So there's that colour there. Now we're going to go for the lighter blue, okay, and we're going to again follow this through, so kind of a sky blue. Follow this through, try and mix it in a little bit with the green, okay, above, or the turquoise. Could use two different shades of green really. You're better off going for the brighter colours here. You don't really want too many dark colours because otherwise you're going to miss the definition with the black outline. So try and get some nice bright colours going on. You could use like oranges and yellows, some bright red, something like that. Okay, but that's what we're doing there. We'll carry on with this down here into that S. Okay, probably colour all of that in there. That's the way we're going to do this now. Into this section here, a little bit lower here because this top colour, the turquoise, has gone lower. Across, hopefully you can see what I'm doing quite clearly from the camera angle. I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way, so it's really not natural. As I've said before on other videos, it's not really natural to colour in or draw with my hand too far away. So I'm trying my best to develop a different style of drawing so you can see what I'm actually colouring and drawing as I'm going along. It's quite difficult, it's not natural at all. Okay, so that's good. Now for the bottom section, we're going to go two purples, but we're going to go a lighter purple first. So for this it'd be kind of a lilac-y purple. Okay. The lines. Now sometimes if you, she's broken a pencil, if you press on too hard, well, one, you can break the pencil, which is what I've just done, the lead, and two, if you go outside the lines and you go over this black edge you've already coloured in, you can just go over it again with a fine line, and that's absolutely fine. Or you could leave the black fine line until right at the end if you're not confident, and then you can just, if you've gone over the line slightly, you can just thicken up that edge. It'll still look really, really cool. Really okay. Looking good now. I think we're pretty much done now. Okay. Make sure there's not much white space in this area here. So again, blow your pencil if you've used too much and it's not, so you don't smudge it. Just blow it away, any excess. Okay, if you're very young, you might want somebody to help you do that, really, just to make sure you're not smudging. I really talked about being left-handed. Actually, if you're left-handed, it makes it a lot more difficult sometimes to not smudge. If you are going to be, if you're left-handed at colouring in or drawing, sometimes when you're colouring in, the best thing to have is an extra piece of paper on top, and just move the paper along as you're colouring in. You want the paper here, and you'll be colouring in this way. I'm ambidextrous, but with sport and things, so I can use my left hand for quite a lot. Anyway, but I wouldn't normally use my left hand for colouring in. Use my left hand today for painting fences, actually, when my right hand was tired. So that's what we're looking at there. That's pretty good. Okay, you can spend ages on this, or less time depending on how long you've got. And then now what I'm going to just show you on some of these letters now is I've chosen a darker purple, slightly darker purple. Okay. And what I'm doing is a little bit for a really bright colour. Okay. Whole that letter. I'll show you what I'm going to do in a minute. Okay, so just leave that, something like that. It almost looks like a tongue. Okay. And again, I'm just going to leave a circle or a splodge here. For now. Alright. You could leave it white, actually. Here. And a small kind of semicircle up there. In with the other purple, okay? With your lighter purple. Now this has got a bit of a shimmer to it, a sparkle to it on these Faber-Castell pencil crayons. They come with sparkly pencils, which if you've seen in my other videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. So there we are. I'm going to do a splodge down here, a little smaller one there, right next to it. Okay. So it'll look almost like, missing one there as well, almost like somebody's thrown paint on the graffiti, which is one of a few ways that you can kind of achieve this kind of graffiti look. Okay, so you want darker through here, avoiding the areas that you've already identified that you're going to put another colour in. Avoiding Baymax's white hand. Don't want to be going into that, otherwise you've got a bit of a problem if you've gone behind Baymax's hand here. from Big Hero 6. There we are. So that's Old Skool with some splodges around there. I'm going to change the colour on that in a minute. Okay. We're going to do a few more splodges here. So I'm just going to do one on the A there. You don't want to make them all circular. Okay, another one here on the R. And I'm going to have a bigger section here. It'd be nice and solid with your colouring there. Okay. So I'll just do a bit more of a unusual shape on that top one there with on the T. Okay, so now what you want is a really bright colour. So I might go for something like, I don't know, an orange or something like that. So like a bright orange. So let's see how this looks. It might not look amazing. It's almost like a reddy orange, this is. Okay, so you're just drawing in now where you've left the splodges. Okay. Now if you're going to colour them all in rather than leaving some white. Okay. Where I've left the bits up here, I've left a few white splodges, so kind of things, so the splodges aren't always uniform at the bottom. Okay. And that, guys, is our Old Skool graffiti. Okay. Just have some fun with this. See if you can maybe send me or message me with your name in that kind of style, if you can. That'd be brilliant if you could send me any. I've got a Facebook group, which is Paul Bembo Art. I'm on Instagram as Paul Bembo Artist. And I'm on Twitter as well, Paul Bembo Art again. You could email me, which is paulbemboart@gmail.com. But yeah, send me your artwork if you've done your own name, or you've done it like me. As I say, you can just have fun with this now. So there's a bit of graffiti art for you. Okay, what I've just got to do is just go over this line here a little bit thicker, just because I went outside the edge ever so slightly there with that purple. Okay, so you just probably would go over again where you've gone over the lines maybe when you've been colouring in. Okay, just to get that definition really sharp. Okay, that's it, and that is our attempt at graffiti style lettering without spray cans. So I'll see you again for another lesson in the next couple of nights. Might do a bit more graffiti art for you. Speak to you soon. All right, take care.